get the chance to travel the world, but I don't have any plans. So wake me up when it's all over, when I'm wise.
Hello there, and now I thought I'd talk a bit about For Your Eyes Only. I've done Bond movies before, let's get to this one. As the big hit, as we all know, of '79 would have been Moonraker, big hit film of that year for the Bond films. But Albert R. Butler and Terence Lung thought, I should say Adi Swordsman, that Albert R. Butler and Adi Swordsman decided to bring James Bond a bit down to earth when it was getting into the 1980s. Now a lot of people thought, what do they mean by down to earth? Is it going to go too predictable? Is it going to go boring? Is it not going to have the fun factor of Bond? You know, action, dad sits and all that. But I've got to admit, I actually like For Your Eyes Only. It's a fun ride. It's not at all like the Bond films for the 70s, which even I've got to admit, it started to get a bit tampy. You didn't get ties with metal arms, you didn't get little ties or ties with metal fucking teeth. It was down to earth and it was based it. It does have a love letter also to George Lazenby to let people know what the character who George Lazenby was playing was not forgotten. Because it starts up with a die but in Lilith next to a cemetery with a cemetery toll. Guess who it is? It's Tracy. Yep, Tracy Bond, the wife of James Bond, in the era when George Lazenby was playing Bond in his one-off role. So let people know that that character was still the same character. I like that little touch. Now there's things people may or may not know about For Your Eyes Only. The theme song is one of them. The theme song, as we all know, was sang by Sheena Easton, For Your Eyes Only. For people that don't know this, originally the song was going to be sang by Blondie. That's right, Blondie was going to sing it, and I've actually heard the version of this, and I've got to admit I'm kind of happy they went with Sheena Easton, because Sheena Easton was definitely suited for the role, and I actually liked the video. And for the music check it was kind of different to see the singer, and also wasn't naked, she was wearing a bathing suit. It was kind of different. I feel that For Your Eyes Only is a fun ride. It's definitely action-packed from beginning to end. They do have a scene of Blofeld make his appearance, pat on the head. And it's definitely a lot different from Roger Moore. Roger Moore in this feels like it's more serious, not as tampy. They do have funny moments in it, and I do admit the ending, Margaret fucking Thatcher and Dennis. Dennis holds the editor of the film now. With a well-known comedian playing Margaret Thatcher, may she rest in peace as she's no longer with us. And I'm not on about the real Maggie. But I do like that love letter to assertive. So they do have little bits here and there of humour, but it's not too humorous. You know, you start off with a girl, her family gets killed, and she kind of goes out on a personal vendetta. Roger Moore kind of stops her and goes out on a secret mission. Because there's the bots, right? And as we know, you've seen For Your Eyes Only, the bots has information that if the Rondans get over it, World War fucking 3. Again, Roger Moore has his date done out in, and for people that don't know this, For Your Eyes Only was originally going to be Roger Moore's last role. I'm not making this shit up. It was going to be Roger Moore's last role. But I'll let you know if next time I tell you about the next one, why it did not become his last role. But yeah, For Your Eyes Only, it's not a bad one. It does have a take scene where he's underwater and he's trying to find the bots, and you find all these bodies. It kind of reminds me a bit of the film The Abyss. And there's a bit where the villain's fighting with him, and to me I felt that would have been awesome because it had a bit of music that sounded a bit like the Jaws theme. I gotta admit, if only Richard Cheal became a duddy in Moonraker, because imagine what that would have been like. And that would have been Jaws, and Jaws got blown up and he makes his last appearance, and Roger Moore comes out with a witty line like, Jaws has met his maker. But it is what it is. You do kind of notice that Bernard Lee, as I mentioned in Moonraker, doesn't get mentioned, and you get another guy as a stand-in taking over from M because M's on sick. As we all know, in 1981, sadly to say, Bernard Lee, the actor who played M, sadly passed away, so they had to work around his death, which is kind of sad. But again, it's not a bad one. I do actually like the villains in this, because you do get one villain who you may remember in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. And it does feel funny that it's similar in this, because you think the guy's a good guy, you think he's helping Bond. Little do you fucking know, he's the main bad guy. Which was kind of similar to what they did in '89 in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. It's not a bad one, as Bond films go. And like I say, it does have action, it's a fun ride. And I do feel that Roger Moore does this in this. To me, he feels like Bond. You know, he's got a Ferrari, got a fucking Auto Lotus, he's driving fancy cars, he's got a brunette in one arm, and he's got a vodka martini in the other. Definitely the action part. You got a seamates going underwater, you got sharks starting to get at him. And I do love the Auto Lotus. It makes its appearance again. I do again feel they should have had the music though. You know the music in The Spy Who Loves Me, that bum 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 bum. But sadly to say, that music was only ever used in The Spy Who Loves Me. You do get one guy who's sort of like comic relief. You remember him in The Spy Who Loves Me, the guy drinking beer. He was in a little appearance in Moonraker, drinking beer. He was also in For Your Eyes Only, drinking fucking beer. It was kind of a comedy what they did in every one of them, where they had the guy. He was a funny man. He was in every one of them drinking beer. Have you ever seen The Spy Who Loves Me? What's out for that man? Because he's in Moonraker, and he does make his last appearance in For Your Eyes Only. Again, it's action packed. There's lots and lots of action, and I do feel Roger Moore does it justice. He definitely looked good for that era. He was now almost pushing his early 50s. And he did look fucking good. I do admit that. There was a time when Roger Moore though did feel uncomfortable, because he was going to do a bed scene with a girl. And the girl was only about the same age as his daughter at the time. So you do get a comedy scene where he says, "Be good and I'll get you an ice cream." That's just because Roger Moore felt uncomfortable doing a bed scene with a girl long enough to be his fucking daughter. Understandable. But again, it has a lot of fun, has a lot of action. You got take car scenes in it, you got helicopter scenes. The music definitely goes with that feel. It definitely is an 80s Bond film. The era was changing. It wasn't your typical tampy sort of humour, and the girls now wasn't as feminine or as innocent. You couldn't get away with as much sex jokes or sexual innuendos. You know, you sort of had woman's lip then. And I do like the Bond girl in it. You know, she's pretty. She has long dark brown hair, and she knows how to use a bow arrow. She definitely kicks ass. I like her, and I do admit I also like the Bond girl in the next Bond film. But For Your Eyes Only, I do like the ending. Maggie Thatcher in Janice. No, Janice. No, even I admit I'm not a lover assertive, but seeing anyone make fun of them definitely makes my fucking day. And I do love the song by Cena Easton, For Your Eyes Only. So again, I'll talk about other films and other reviews on the way. Into then, see you laters.